Dear viewers, welcome to today's session. My name is Veronica Rose. I have a special guest for us today. He is from Egypt and he will tell us more about himself. Ahmed?
Thanks, Veronica. Thanks very much for having me here in this interviews. Actually, I like this idea of the channel and the interviews. I think it's really a very good experience to learn from some of the leading cybersecurity experts, especially in our industry, which is really growing on a very, very rapid pace, as you all know. So my name is Ahmed Nabil. I've been working in this field maybe for the last 18 or 19 years. I don't want to look too old for this, but I've been working in most of the IT and security works, infrastructure and project management and applications. Cloud security is the main focus nowadays. I'm currently the regional information security and risk manager in one of the leading banking institutes in the world. And I've been Microsoft most valuable professional for the last 8 years in the cloud and data center and enterprise security, as well recently been also appointed or awarded the Microsoft Regional Director Award as well.
Wow. Interesting. And I'm surprised you talked about clouds, and our topical discussion today is still on cloud. So we will discuss more on infrastructure as a service, commonly known as public cloud. So while securing our data, concerns always come up on how our data is secure on the cloud. So Ahmed would like to hear from you. Is our data safe on the public cloud?
So that's a very tough question, and then I'm gonna answer with the most diplomatic answer, which is it depends. So nowadays, more and more devices and technologies are coming around. And then with all this kind of different aspects of the cloud technologies and how it impacts our lives and work, it becomes a real mandate how we can properly secure it. So we need to understand, people understand what is the data flow of their information. Again, remember that the data and information is still under the ownership of the user, under the ownership of the client, of the customer who is going to the cloud. So you need to understand more about the data flow, how the data passing through to the cloud, whether it's encrypted or not, and what are the common risks affecting the move to the cloud to try to secure it. So if you think about the cloud is just a few servers that are running somewhere remotely. It's nothing more than this. And the problem that people are afraid really when it comes to the cloud is that the data is not physically with them. It's physically out of your hands. So we are not saving the files anymore on our hard drive in our office or at home, or maybe putting it somewhere else. But the irony here is that we have been doing this for a long time. People have been using online storage like OneDrive and Google Drive. People have been using online cloud mails like Hotmail, Outlook, and Gmail for a long time. And this was the first instance of cloud. So cloud have been there, but maybe we were not thinking of it. Maybe we were thinking of it as a kind of a personal thing. But now we need to think of it more a kind of a business and how it's going to impact our lives. So nowadays, especially with this pandemic and the COVID situation that happened for the last 4 or 5 months, the cloud was really the main driver for the business to continue. And there was a lot of comics I've read, and then one of the nice things mentioned is that this pandemic and this COVID was the main reason for the complete digital transformation for a lot of companies to go to the cloud. So when we think about the cloud again, we need to think how to secure the cloud. And then I would answer this by going to the basics, which is something called the shared responsibility model. So moving to the cloud doesn't mean that the cloud provider is taking care of everything and I'm just paying him. No, the cloud provider is taking care of some sort of things, while another things are still under your responsibility and accountability. For example, take for example the information. For example, the identity, your identity. The cloud may provide you with some tools that help you secure this, but again, this is your own data. This is under your own ownership, and you must check and ensure it's secured. You must ensure to implement the needed protections, the needed mechanism. The cloud providers will help you by providing the technologies. However, it's up to you to leverage these technologies.
Yes, I completely agree with you. It has to be either way, not one-sided. Thank you so much.
True, exactly.
Yeah, do you have any other closing remarks on the same?
Nothing more is that, again, we need to focus on the enterprise shared responsibility between us. The cloud providers, as I mentioned, they implement some baseline protections for the platforms and the data they process, such as authentication, access controls, and then we, as customers or enterprises, must supplement these protection with added security measures in order to ensure that our data is fully protected and tighten the access. So I would think that by moving to the cloud, to answer again your question, yes, the data will be secure if you are applying the right protections and the right precautions and ensuring that you're doing it in a very smooth way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Ahmed, for sharing with us today. I'm very sure our viewers have learned something and they are assured the data is safe, but it takes the two of us, the provider and the owner of the data.
True, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you
That's
so
true.
much.
Thanks, all, Veronica. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And
Best of luck.
to our viewers, thank you so much for watching. Just hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the upcoming sessions. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.